Let's take a quiet moment together today. If you've reached 65, you've likely gained a wisdom that younger people are still searching for. You've weathered storms, adapted to change, and perhaps grown more grateful for each sunrise. But with those years come new questions, especially about your health. And one of the most uncomfortable, yet important truths is this: over 90% of deaths after 65 stem from just a few underlying causes. This isn't meant to scare you. In fact, it's the opposite. Because if those causes are known, they can be faced. I'd like you to meet Paul and Irene, both 68, both retired, and both longtime friends. Paul still loves gardening, though his knees aren't what they used to be. Irene enjoys her morning walks and has recently taken up journaling again. On the surface, they seem equally healthy. But over the past 5 years, their choices have quietly taken them down very different health paths. Paul never gave much thought to his diet, still favoring salty snacks, processed meat, and late night dinners. He often skipped his checkups. He figured, I feel okay. I'm probably fine. Irene, on the other hand, became more intentional. After her sister had a minor stroke at 66, she decided to learn more about what commonly affects older adults. She started asking questions. What am I doing now that I might regret in 10 years? Which silent risks am I carrying without even knowing it? You see, it's not just about living longer. It's about protecting the quality of your days. We're not going to talk about frightening diseases in a way that drains you. Instead, we're going to open a window, gently, and look at the biggest hidden risks after 65. Risks that cause the vast majority of deaths in people our age. But more importantly, we'll explore how natural, life affirming habits can help you avoid them. No drastic changes, no fear, just small shifts that keep you strong, steady, and present. Because when you understand the quiet dangers, you begin to hear the quiet wisdom that protects you from them. One of the first and most overlooked causes of decline after 65 is chronic inflammation. Not the kind that comes with a sprained ankle or a sore throat. Those are short lived and protective. We're talking about long term, low grade inflammation that simmers quietly in the body. Doctors now call it inflammaging, and it's behind many of the issues that lead to heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and even some types of cancer. Janet, a 72-year-old widow, was active and cheerful, but often complained of vague aches and tiredness. She thought it was just normal aging. But after a gentle nudge from her daughter, she got her C-reactive protein levels checked, a marker of inflammation, and they were surprisingly high. A nutritionist helped her swap out processed food for more colorful vegetables, fatty fish like salmon, and turmeric tea. 3 months later, Janet said something that stuck with me. I didn't know how foggy I was feeling until the fog started to lift. You see, inflammation doesn't shout, it whispers. It makes you a little slower, a little stiffer, a little moodier. Over time, that adds up to major illness. What helps? Anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens, olive oil, walnuts, and ginger. Gentle movement, even just 20 minutes of walking, signals your body to calm the internal fire. Stress reduction through breathing exercises, prayer, or simply sitting in silence. You don't need pills to bring peace to your body. Nature and your own rhythm already hold that power. By recognizing and reducing chronic inflammation, you're not just avoiding disease, you're creating space for vitality to return. Let's talk about something subtle yet powerful: muscle loss after 65, medically called sarcopenia. Paul, the friend we mentioned earlier, noticed he was getting tired just carrying groceries or climbing the stairs. He thought he was just getting old. But here's the truth: between 65 and 80, most people lose about 30% of their muscle mass if they don't actively work to preserve it. Why does that matter? Because muscle isn't just about strength. It's your body's reserve tank for energy, blood sugar control, and balance. Losing muscle can mean falls, slower recovery from illness, and a higher risk of death from even minor infections or surgeries. Alice, 70, joined a gentle chair yoga group and started light resistance training with soup cans at home. In 6 weeks, she said her knees felt more stable and her confidence returned. How can you naturally preserve muscle? Protein with every meal. Think eggs, lentils, Greek yogurt, or fish. Gentle strength training, resistance bands, or light hand weights just twice a week can make a difference. Staying active daily, even if it's dancing to music in the kitchen. Losing muscle is a quiet danger, but building it back, that's a powerful declaration that you're still here, still strong, and still in charge of your body. Another key contributor to late-life mortality is poor cardiovascular health, and much of it goes undetected. Heart disease is still the number one cause of death after 65. But here's the twist: it often doesn't start with dramatic chest pain. It starts with fatigue, shortness of breath, a feeling that walking up the driveway takes a bit more effort than it used to. George, a 69-year-old former truck driver, ignored these signs for months. Just part of aging, he said. But during a routine checkup, his blood pressure was sky high, and a scan showed narrowing arteries. With a few lifestyle changes and a low-dose medication, he avoided what could have been a fatal heart attack. What can you do naturally to support your heart? Eat the rainbow. Bright fruits and vegetables reduce plaque and improve blood flow. Reduce salt and saturated fat. Replace with herbs, lemon, and olive oil. Practice slow, deep breathing. Just 5 minutes a day can lower blood pressure. Stay socially connected. Loneliness is a surprising strain on the heart. Your heart is your rhythm keeper. Treat it with care, and it will beat steady and strong well into your later years. Two final dangers often go unnoticed until it's too late: blood sugar instability and cognitive decline. Let's begin with sugar. Many older adults develop insulin resistance. Their bodies don't process glucose as efficiently. Over time, this can lead to type 2 diabetes, which increases the risk of heart disease, kidney failure, and vision loss. But it starts subtly: more frequent urination, fatigue after meals, even blurry thinking. Maria, 67, always had a sweet tooth. After a checkup revealed rising blood sugar, she replaced desserts with fruit and cinnamon tea. She started having oatmeal with chia seeds instead of pastries. 3 months later, her energy improved, and so did her numbers. Now, let's talk about the brain. Cognitive decline often begins with little lapses, forgetting names, misplacing items, or repeating stories. While some memory change is natural, progressive decline isn't inevitable. Studies show that inflammation, poor diet, inactivity, and isolation all accelerate cognitive loss. But those same studies show the brain is more adaptable than we thought. even after 70. What helps protect both blood sugar and the brain? Balanced meals with fiber and healthy fat. Mindful movement like Tai Chi, which combines physical and mental focus. Lifelong learning, reading, puzzles, even learning new skills or languages. Social engagement. Your brain thrives in connection, not isolation. Your mind and your metabolism are deeply linked. Nurture them both, and you protect far more than just memory or sugar levels. You protect your independence. So here we are, five major causes behind 90% of deaths after 65. Not dramatic events that strike without warning, but quiet processes that unfold over time. But here's the beauty: because they're quiet, they can be gently redirected, not with fear, but with awareness, not with pills alone, but with natural choices, made one small step at a time. Irene, from the beginning of our story, is now 73. She still has occasional aches, and she still loves her morning walks. But she says what's changed most is her mindset. I'm not trying to live forever. I'm trying to live fully with the time I have. Isn't that the heart of it all? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. But you can recognize the signs, make thoughtful shifts, and protect the precious energy you still hold. Start where you are. Maybe with an anti-inflammatory tea, or a simple walk with a friend, or switching from white bread to whole grain. Every small change adds to your body's ability to carry you well. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these changes in yourself or someone close to you? Which small step are you ready to try this week? Let's talk in the comments. I read each one, and this community learns through each other. And if this video touched something in you, consider subscribing to Elder Insight. We share stories, science, and soul because your later years still have power, purpose, and possibility. Take care of yourself, gently and kindly. You matter.